Welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mitch and Ann.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hollywood Persona. We are back. Feels like we just talked. How's it going, Ant?
Good, man. Yeah, it's like we're continuing the episode from earlier this week.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just listening to a part of it, and I was talking about what we would be reviewing today in the last episode because we knew we were going to be recording so quick.
Yep.
Because we had a chance to see some up and coming movies. Five Nights at Freddy's, we both watched. Anatomy of a Fall, we both watched. You saw The Killer, which I said I would see, but I did not get to it. But I will see that when it's streaming, and we'll talk about it again then.
Cool.
Because I don't think many people went to the theaters to see it.
It was limited. It was super limited. Yeah, it was only in one theater here for me.
Yeah, if I see like it maybe it goes wider this weekend or something, but if I see it in one of my theaters near me, I might go see it. And then When Evil Lurks, we both saw. I really want to talk about that. And then I managed to cram in Hell House LLC Origins: The Carmichael Manor, which is a new movie from the franchise, the Hell House franchise. I don't know if you've seen any of those movies.
I don't think so. I'm confusing it with The Haunting on Hill House.
Right. These I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Yeah. Not really any podcast business. I was just gonna say I have a new episode of the Film Vaulters out for Halloween. We did top 5 mentally ill characters in horror movies.
Was that hard to find?
No, like we did like sociopaths, psychopaths, someone with autism, like not always like the killer in the movie, but
right. DID, right? Dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah. That does come up in one of Joseph's.
Did you see Identity?
No, I don't think so.
John Cusack. It was a DID episode. It's very like Stephen King. It's from 2008, something like that.
Oh, someone was just talking about that. Are you sure it's called Identity?
Look it up real quick. I'll mention it. It's a bunch of celebrities are stuck in a hotel, and all these murders just start happening. And I kind of want to spoil it. It's from 2008.
Don't spoil it.
No,
okay. 2003. Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
It's kind of fun, but there's someone with dissociative identity disorder.
Okay.
In the mix, and that plays into the story. So
right,
that's what made me think of it. So yeah, but that sounds like a good topic for your.
It was. I said to him like, pick something horror. We'll do it for Halloween. He's a good friend, from the Cinematics Facebook group, and he said, like, what if we took this and just did horror characters? And I was like, I hope that's not offensive.
No,
but let's do it. And then
wait, you do have something business related. I think we should pick we should at least mention that we still have to watch Matt's selection.
Yes, so we are going to watch Matt's selection, and then this week we are going to record the Patreon bonus episode, doing the October recap, and so that will be out by the end of the week for sure, and yeah. So, and then Film Vault, they are doing top 5 Canadians this week. So they messaged me and they asked me for my top 5. And they're cool. Like, and we needed it in a few hours, and I was like at work, so I'm like quickly scrambling together top 5 Canadians, and
there's a lot.
I know, and I didn't want mine to be basic, and blah blah blah. So
Jim Carrey.
No, top 5 Canadian characters.
Oh.
Like Canadians would have been so easy, but they wanted characters. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to listen to that one then.
So, how was your Harry Potter? How was your Halloween party?
Man, it was great. We had probably 30-ish or so people kind of coming going through the night. We built an ice luge that we did shots from. Cool. There were other substances that alter your perception going around to the people that wanted it, and that was fun.
Yeah.
A lot of great costumes.
What was yours?
Mine was, I waited till the last minute and scrambled. So I went to the Halloween store and I just bought a life-size suit that looked like a White Claw can, and I wrote "basic bitch" on it with Sharpie to make it a little unique.
What are you drinking right now?
Fresca.
Oh, I thought it was a White Claw.
No, it's actually delicious. Have you ever had this?
Yeah. The
Okay,
can looks a lot different here in Canada.
Well, it's so funny. It's like hard to find kind of, and it's just
Really?
flavored water. Yeah, a lot of
Oh.
many times I go to not only the grocery stores here in Atlanta, but also the grocery stores in Chicago would just not stock it, or it's only in the big 2 liters and not in the can.
Oh.
Yeah, and I just love
My
that
dad.
because it's 0 calories, so you can just pound them.
Yeah, my dad owns a grocery store, and yeah, I
You
worked
always
there
have them?
from like 15 to 20 something, and always had Fresca. It was a big seller, so
Man, you
maybe
should
it's
work there
bigger in
now.
Canada.
Work the night shift.
Fuck that. No, they don't have a night shift either. It's
They
because
don't for stocking shelves? Oh,
no,
okay.
it's just a small town. They get the trucks in the morning. Little town in Ontario, right off excuse me, Lake
Erie.
Erie. This is my
So,
Halloween costume. I want to show you. I was gonna wear it, but it's a little itchy.
oh,
Um,
that's great. That's
says
perfect.
says I'm just Ken.
Nobody
Um,
else?
but when I ordered it, like online, it said I'm Knuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he wears, and then
That's
it
in the
came in
movie.
like that. So
Oh,
I was
that's
like a little
funny.
disappointed, but yeah.
What were your
And it,
kids?
oh, so obviously Halloween's tomorrow, but they had a Halloween dance on Friday, and Max was a Pokemon trainer, and
Okay,
Atticus was Pikachu.
cool.
Uh,
Yep.
so really cute. Maybe I'll post that on the Hollywood Persona thing. So
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of me and mine
okay,
if
cool.
you want.
I would like that. So yeah, let's go into movie news unless you have anything
No,
else.
yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Speaking of Canadians,
Yeah, I this is
or half Canadians, right? He was dual
yeah,
citizen.
so Matthew Perry has passed away at the age of 54. As we know right now, it was an accidental drowning. I don't even like to talk about the drug aspect because that's
Yeah,
not. I know we have the issue, and a lot of people are like, "Well, it was probably drugs." It's like, well, let's not, let's not disparage the man already. Um, anyways, and I've been waiting all week to kind of hear from I'm not all week. It's only been 2 days. He died.
yeah. The cast hasn't said anything, right?
They have put out a statement as of
Okay.
today. They put out a group statement, and they say we are all so utterly devastated by the loss of Matthew. We are more than just castmates. We are a family. There's so much to say, but right now we're going to take a moment to grieve and process this unfathomable loss. In time, we will say more as and when we are able. For now, our thoughts and our love are with Maddie's family, his friends, and everyone who loved him around the world. And then the message is signed by Aniston, Cox, Kudrow, LeBlanc, and Schwimmer. And it's just so sad to not see Perry's name with them at the bottom. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I
that's
know,
really sweet. That's well
yeah,
written.
it was, and I
And
like what they said about we will say more, but give us our time.
yeah, yep.
Um, and so Max, which has HBO Max, which has Friends streaming on it right now. The first episode of every season has a little thing that says "In memory of Matthew Perry," with a picture of him. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so
That's a
that
nice
that
touch.
pops up at the beginning of every season. So, uh,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
happened. Actually, that news I think broke during my party. I remember it kind of
yeah,
causing a ripple through everyone saying, "No way, holy shit!" Yeah, I didn't watch Friends. Of course, I know of it and have seen some
mhm,
episodes. But from what I read and know of him, he was very well liked. Seemed to be a
yeah,
genuine guy. Struggled with addiction. Hey,
yeah,
been there too, man. So
yeah,
I understand it, and it's sad to lose someone like that at that young of an age.
yeah. It's weird. I haven't got choked up until like this moment talking to you. I almost got a little choked up. I've watched Friends about 5 times all the way through my life. It was really big. My brother had all the DVDs when I was young, so I would borrow them and watch them. And he's I've always wanted to do on the Film Vultures. I want somebody to come on and do top 5 TV characters and from comedies, and he would probably be my number one. He is the pinnacle of humor for me, and the show in some ways doesn't hold up. The laugh track, blah blah blah, but you can say what you want. But
Homophobia.
yeah, there's a little transphobia,
But
homophobia, and
I
stuff.
don't judge. I don't judge.
I don't
the
either.
past with today's lens.
Me neither.
You can't. Yeah.
You can't. And but I think it's there is it is undeniably funny. I deny anyone to watch that and just be stone faced, and yeah. He was also in The Whole Nine Yards and 17 again, and he had a pretty good comedy career in the 90s there. And yeah.
I always identified with his humor more so than say Kramer's. And two things I read on his Wikipedia page today. I was going through it just because I didn't really know. I didn't know the details of his struggles with addiction.
Right.
So two things stuck out to me was I think he said seasons 3 and 7 he had, or sorry, 3 to 6 he has no recollection of.
Yeah.
That he was just so high on whatever that he really doesn't remember any of it, which is wild because from the episodes I've seen, I remember him being great in those. And the second thing was he was once like trying to detox, went to a rehab over in Europe, asked for comfort meds or pain meds or something because he was struggling. They wouldn't get it. So he chartered a private jet, something like 140 grand to fly back to LA to buy the drugs, then bring them back to. Wow. It's tragic, man. It's so tragic. And yeah, you feel for people like that because you know, he was struggling with it. He went to Betty Ford. He did lots and lots of tries. And so, yeah, like you said at the beginning of this, hopefully it wasn't, you know, relapse caused. But either, no matter what it was, it is sad. He was young.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen lots of interviews, and I put a hold on his book for the library. At the library, my partner was absolutely devastated. I called him and he was just crying. He's you know, I said Matthew Perry died. He's like, fuck off, you're joking. And then he was out in public and he just started crying.
Why would you call the joke about that?
Well, like he knew I wasn't joking, but like he was kind of like saying like, "Oh, fuck off," like you know, like
believe it. Yeah, he didn't want to believe it.
Exactly.
Okay, now I get it.
And he's currently watching Friends, so and like he just read his book like a few months ago.
Damn.
Yeah. So, anyways, rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Lots of love. This is kind of funny, so I'm glad we're kind of changing the topic. Theaters have been talk about yeah. Theaters have gotten in trouble for inserting their own intermission for Killers of the Flower Moon. Apple and Paramount have been cracking down on it. According to a recent report from Deadline, Paramount, the primary distributor of the film, and its international partners have taken swift action to stop an unauthorized practice that violates the film's licensing agreement. This practice involves the unauthorized exhibition of the film. Thelma Schoonmaker, editor of the film, who has edited all of his films since Raging Bull, I think. She said this practice is not right. This suggests that both the studio and key members of the film oh, sorry, I messed that up. But she said, I understand that somebody's running it with an intermission, which is not right. That's a violation, so I have to find out about it. I understand both sides of this, and I was listening to the Middle Class Film Class podcast today talk about it, and their one point was saying, like, if these theaters are having trouble getting people in to see a 3.5-hour movie, and putting an intermission in is a draw to some people, you know, maybe that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But also that is not how the filmmaker clearly wants it to be seen. So you see both sides, but what do you think?
You do see both sides. My take is the intentions of the filmmaker really don't matter anymore because people watch Dunkirk on their 4-inch iPhone.
That's true.
And Nolan can cry about it as much as he wants. I would never do that, by the way. There's no way in hell I would watch any movie on my phone. I just don't like it, but I'm not going to stop someone from doing it or care that they do, you know? So the filmmaker's intention, especially when you choose Apple Plus and not a traditional studio, right? Like they're only going to put it in for 2 weeks and such and such. And then my other thought comes from a biased position of working in a movie theater. Intermissions allow for much more sales of the things that make us money. Ticket sales don't make the theaters money, so a nice break in between for bathroom and refill or buy new popcorn is extremely helpful. So especially because 4 hours of the day are clogged up with one showing of this movie, right? So it limits the amount we can show per day. But I do get where they're coming from. I just want to be able to read through the lines here. And what does swift action mean? Like, you know, do they stop them from playing it? Do they no longer let them have their movies in the future? Or do they just tell them to stop?
I think they're just telling them to stop.
I wish we did them. You know, Indian movies do them. When I saw Gone with the Wind, it had one.
I just read, I mean, they also said on the film class, someone said that India does a intermission for every movie.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was most. Their movies are usually at least 3 hours, but yeah, every movie has one. It makes sense. Let people take a break, have a piss. Like, well, what's so precious? And you know, I don't know about you, but I had to get up and pee during that movie the first time I saw it, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
So is that what you intended, Miss Editor? That I missed it because I had to go pee? I don't know.
I had to. Everybody in my theater did, I think, except for like one person. But maybe they had a colostomy bag. I don't know.
And you know that app Run Pee, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's an app called Run Pee. Listeners, if you don't know about it, it'll tell you what time in the movie is best to go for a bathroom break, and then it'll give you a little text on what happened while you were out.
Cool. Oh, I didn't know it did that. That's cool.
Yeah, and actually AMC built it into their app, so you can.
I think you have to pay for it now, though. I thought. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know. So Warner Brothers has delayed Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom for the third time since its announcement by 2 days. So that's so I'm just gonna briefly say I don't know why, but they pushed the movie back 2 days from Wednesday, December 20th to Friday, December 22nd. I don't even know if that was newsworthy, but they got me to click.
Wow, weird.
Disney's
go ahead. I'm adding something at the bottom I just found out about. So okay, keep going.
Disney's live-action Snow White is stirring up controversy due to how it initially replaced the dwarf characters with magical creatures, which drew criticism for not including actors with dwarfism. The new image from the movie shows that the dwarves are now CGI characters, making it even harder to cast actors with dwarfism. Disney is trying to respond to the feedback and address the issues, but the movie's delay suggests they'll have time to make changes and reinvent their approach. So this is a two-pronged story here. Disney's live-action Snow White remake has been hit with a huge delay. The movie's release date has been moved from March 22nd, 2024 to exactly a year later by 1 day to March 21st, 2025. Peter Dinklage, of Game of Thrones fame, has been pretty vocal about this. But it doesn't seem like this movie can do anything right.
Right, exactly. And I disagree with him on this one.
Yeah, I kind of do too. Like he's kind of against the whole movie, like against them even doing the movie with dwarves, and now everyone's against it because they haven't cast dwarf actors. Like if they're gonna do it, they might as well cast. It's I don't know. Like it's like Disney can't do the right thing, you know, with this and you know, he was just in that Anne Hathaway movie I saw. And if you remember during the review, I mentioned how his dwarfism or his height isn't mentioned at all. He's just a man in the world. Yep, which I love.
I do too. That's great. But he's been able to achieve that, I think, on the back of him doing roles in his early career where they did need a dwarf or a little person. So, you know, so he comes from a somewhat privileged position to say, oh, I don't think dwarves should be used that way. Because I read some comments on one of the other film podcasts I listened to, their Patreon page, and someone in there said, something to the effect of, yeah, I'm a little person and I like to be I am an actor. I try and get into sets. And it was a bummer to me to see that no dwarfs will have acting roles in this upcoming. So I see where they're coming from too. So
yeah, it's a really faceted issue, and wouldn't want to be in Disney's shoes trying to figure it out. But if I was in their shoes, I would just cast dwarf actors, and I don't know if dwarf's the right word anymore, but I would just cast dwarf actors and be done with it, because you're not going to please everyone.
Right? You're gonna have someone's gonna be upset no matter what you choose, and
exactly.
If you can be concrete in your decision and come out and say we believe in giving everyone a chance to act in movies, and
exactly,
there's amazing people that we hired for this role. So
and you've got less CGI then, like a less CGI budget.
And those all we saw was that one screenshot, but
and it looks terrible.
It looks like that one of the guys from Star Wars where his face sags down. You know what I'm talking about?
Jar Jar, or like
no, it's not that it's a trap guy, but he's Yubnub. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I know who you're talking to. The Black Phone 2 is set for release on June 27th, 2025, and just announced today. I am so excited. The sequel to It Follows is coming out in 2024. They just released the poster today. It's going to be called They Follow.
Cool.
It is going to be directed by David Robert Mitchell.
Okay.
He's returning to direct, and Micah Monroe will be reprising her role from the 2014 movie. Neon, is the company that is distributing it, and I loved It Follows. Did you?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the better. When someone says like, "What's a good horror movie that's been released somewhat recently?" I say that one all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear director and Micah Monroe are coming back, because sometimes sequels go off the rails when they.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. And I like the Black Phone too. Did you see in the news? Is Ethan Hawke or that little kid coming back?
No, there's really no news yet. I think Ethan Hawke is slated to return. I think he's. Yeah, I think he is. You say this next one, and I will double check if they've cast.
All right, yeah. So this I just found out before we got on this call here. The Marvel's review embargo, so the date that reviews can be published, has been set for the day before the movie releases, which 9 out of 10 times means the company putting the movie out has very little faith in it. They did that just to actually. Five Nights at Freddy's review embargo wasn't lifted until after it was already in theaters. So,
oh my God.
So the review embargo lifted Friday morning when people could have seen it Thursday night. And you saw why, right? Critics didn't like it. It has very low critic score.
Yeah.
So I'm worried that that's going to be the case with this. And that's a bummer. And with low pre-sales, I guess that was a news story we did not too long ago.
And it is reportedly the shortest Marvel movie. Which is another news story that I didn't, we didn't, put in, but that was a few weeks ago. But speaking of Friday Night at Freddy's, why don't you give us these insane box office?
Yeah, man, this is just amazing and crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so box office for last weekend, Five Nights at Freddy's comes in at number 1, as expected. It was a new horror movie released around Halloween at $78 million domestically, which is almost how much Oppenheimer opened with opening weekend. Oppenheimer's like 82 million. And it was put on streaming the same day it was released in theater. So that to me says maybe Paramount did the right thing here. The people that wanted to go to theaters did, and a shitload of them did. And then whoever wanted to be a part of the conversation paid to watch it on Paramount Plus. I wonder, I guess maybe Paramount knows this, but like how many dollars are they losing by getting half the ticket price as they would from theaters, right? Because they don't get the full price if someone paid for it on Paramount Plus. So it's just amazing, and I can't believe it. And then that even goes to contradict or show you that critic reviews aren't the end all be all. This movie is a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes and around there on Metacritic. And look what it did, 78 million. Yeah. So for people that hate critics or hate Rotten Tomatoes, here you go. Here's an example where who cares what critics think?
Yeah, exactly.
People obviously loved it. So
yeah.
All right. So then Taylor Swift was in second, right behind FNAF, not right behind, with another 14.7 million, putting her at 150 million domestically, which is just awesome. We were still pretty busy, but it's definitely slowed down to a manageable manageable amount now with her concert film. And then Killers of the Flower Moon. This is a little kind of a bummer. So it was in third place with only 9 million, which gives it its second weekend drop of 61%. So yeah, I think it cost around 200 million. So that's not great, but this isn't necessarily a how much money can we make movie. It's more prestige and to be aligned with Martin Scorsese and that group. But still, I'd rather have seen it do better.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
And then After Death is in fourth place with 5 million, which is an Angel Studios picture, the guys that made Sound of Freedom. And
they are sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say they are doing the same thing. I read
the pay it forward.
Interesting. The QR code comes up.
So I walked into this movie and watched a little bit of it, and it's actually it sounds like its title. It's about what happens when you die. They interview some people that have some medical degrees, and they put their opinion on it, and it was very inoffensive to me. It was mostly a religious-ish crowd that did come to see this. But
that's fine.
I mean,
like, good for them.
Yeah, exactly. Totally fine. And really, there's no competition. FNAF was the only new movie out. So, and then the Exorcist Believer continues to do fine at number 5 with $60 million domestic so far. And then I just wanted to mention Freelance, that Alison Brie,
John Cena
movie that we didn't even know was coming. And we look up movies every time we record, and I work at a damn movie theater. And it made only 2 million on its open weekend. It has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I have a fear that I'm probably going to end up seeing this anyway. I just am afraid that that's going to happen. Because I'm running out of stuff to see between now and new movie releases this Thursday. So yeah.
But it seems like we have a lot coming out this weekend.
I know, right? It looks pretty good. So and then the only last piece of box office news that you pointed out that I'm glad to mention is The Creator looks like it crossed the century mark domestically at $100 million, which is great. It only cost 80. Oh, it was worldwide. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it cost 80, worldwide 100 million. Still not great, but it's not terrible.
Yeah,
it's not a box office bomb.
Right.
And then I just wanted to say, what I wanted to say earlier about Friday Night at Freddy's. It was the second highest opening for a day, like a, what do you call it, day and date? When you have it coming out on streaming and in theaters on the same day. Number 1 is Halloween Kills, which was 133 million. Sorry, that's global haul. So it beat Halloween Ends, but it still has. It's already beat Halloween Ends in total in money, globally. And then it's almost on its way to beating Halloween Kills, which it will. And apparently there's like, this has gotten a lot of streamers together who are going to see this movie together, and it's really showing that I think the younger crowd will come out to movies just like we were talking. There was a younger crowd for Killers of the Flower Moon,
and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and Taylor Swift, and I think the younger crowd is showing that they will come out to the movies if it's something they're interested in. Obviously, this is based on an IP that is popular, but So
yeah, it's cool. It's healthy for the theater industry. So I'm happy for it.
Me too. Maybe we should just jump right into reviews.
Yeah, let's talk reviews. Let's go ahead. You want me to set it up?
Yeah, let's do Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, cool. So as most of you listening probably know, this is based on the meteoric rise of the video game Five Nights at Freddy's. And I have never personally played it. I had a good friend who had young kids, and it was someone I was like kind of trying to date. So I was hanging out, and showing like I'm a good guy. I'll be friendly to your kids for a while.
So you're lying.
No, of course not.
I'm kidding.
I displayed interest in what they were doing, and actually, it was kind of interesting. From my perspective, the game is kind of like a haunted house where you, as your character, run through the house, and you're running through a Chuck E. Cheese type place, and these old busted animatronics jump out at you and scare you. I think you've seen Willy's Wonderland.
I have, yes. That's
I did
Nicolas
too.
Cage animatronic. Oh, geez,
Yeah, animatronics. You got it.
Animatronic.
Yeah, it was trying to capitalize, and I actually we'll get into it. I think that one is probably I'd rather watch that one again than this one.
I would too, but
it's directed by Emma Tammy, who I don't recognize. She did a couple other movies: Delivered, Fair Chase, The Wind, Blood Moon. Don't know those.
yeah, I did look at her, and I didn't really know any of them. But
yeah, I haven't recognized them either. But I do know that the creator of the game was heavily involved in the script and was there on set. So this isn't a case of they wrestled the idea away from the creator. This appears to me what he wanted to do. So
yeah.
All right, so here's the plot synopsis. Recently fired and desperate for work, troubled young man named Mike, played by Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games, right?
Yep, PETA.
Yes, that's right. It's PETA, yes. He agrees to take a position as a night security guard at this abandoned theme restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. But he soon discovers that nothing at Freddy's is what it seems. You also have Piper Rubio. She plays the little annoying girl. And then a police officer that you've never seen a police officer this good looking, Elizabeth Lale. And then Matthew Lillard. I like seeing him.
Me too.
I didn't even recognize him as the unemployment guy who's helping him get a job.
And I mean this in the best way. He's looking old, and
yes.
and it's fine.
Yeah,
he's aging gracefully. He's still a handsome man.
Yes,
but he's just older. He's not
the guy from Screen. Yeah,
yeah. He's not Shaggy.
Yeah. Right, he's not Shaggy. Yeah. So let me just say this: the film opens with our main character, Josh Hutcherson, as a security guard at the mall. And he thinks he sees a kid that might be in distress, can't find his parents or something. And, because we find out later, because of something in his past, it strikes a chord with him. So he just starts booking it down the mall and tackles this kid's dad.
Yeah.
Thinking that the kid was like trying to be abducted. Instead of saying, hey, stop, or excuse me, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, what's going on here?
Right. What's going on here? Kid, do you know who this man is? Like, he just tackles him, straight up quarterback tackles him. So
does that happen in real life where somebody just blind rage, just like without thinking, just starts like he punches him 9-10 times?
Oh, yeah, he's
like
beating the shit out of him. That's right.
Yeah.
He didn't just tackle him.
No, he tackles him into the fountain and then just starts wailing on him. And I'm like, this doesn't happen.
And I know they make the excuse because of his past. He has something in his family that was similar. I still don't buy it.
And he'd be in jail.
Right. Yeah. Like, for real. Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Major assault.
Yeah.
Major. It wasn't just a tackle out of mistake. He he beat the shit out of this guy. So, so all right. Yeah, Mitch, I really didn't like this movie. And so I went to see it as a preview screening at the theater I work at. We did a Wednesday night thing to see it a little early, which is kind of a cool perk of that job.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the younger people I work with showed up for this, and a lot of them were cooing and cheering during certain parts in the movie that I didn't necessarily recognize. And I went into this wanting to like it. I really did. And nothing was, well, there was something that stuck out as really bad, but to me, this is just a crappy video game adaptation, which we get most of the time. Like Mario is an outlier, and there's a few others that are. My biggest complaint with this movie is we're not in the pizzeria. We're not in the place being scared by these animatronics all that much. No. There's this whole side plot with Josh Hutcherson's family, and it's a family drama, and that never gets resolved. The man who he's looking for, right? We never find out who that was.
We do. and I
Oh,
don't want
really?
to give it away,
Okay, all right, then
but
don't.
it's fairly obvious. But
Okay.
it is
So it
said
is.
very it is said very briefly near the end. But
Oh, that's right. Okay,
it's
yeah.
not very satisfying, especially when the whole movie is built kind of like they go so into detail and they constantly have dream sequences or back
We
to
returned to the
this.
same dream sequence like 5 times of him
Yes.
standing in the woods. And Josh Hutcherson in this looks like he's asleep through this whole thing.
No.
He's just very monotone, no expression. And
I
then
think
even
he's
it,
supposed to,
I
but
guess
it
so.
was not well. It was not good.
Yeah, it was. I didn't connect with him at all. And um, it's in the woods, so it's not that exciting of a scene to be in. And these little kids like run away. Like he would be if he's able to tackle some guy in the mall, he'd be able to grab one of these little kids that they all
Hmm.
run from. But he keeps going back to the
Speaking,
same scene.
yeah, and speaking of the Black Phone did this exact same thing a lot better, a
Much
lot
better,
more
much better.
effectively with like these kids trying to help from the past. You
Yes,
know,
that's right. That's right.
yeah,
He was like, step back, take a punch.
yeah,
That whole
yeah.
like how he teaches
Oh
them.
yeah, I love that. I'm
Me
glad you
too,
reminded me
right?
of that. Yeah.
Um,
Um.
or you go ahead, and I've got plenty more to
Yeah,
say.
the I gave this 1 star. The characters here are weak, underwritten. The cop I hated.
Oh,
You have never seen a cop so young, so pretty, and so helpful.
and she
I
doesn't do her job. Like she's not a
no,
police officer. She's a
no,
character in the movie because she spends
no.
her entire shift every day at this pizzeria
Exactly.
that her
Spending
boss would
time
be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
exactly. We've noticed that your cop car is just spending hours and hours at this
And the
abandoned
place is
Chuck E.
closed,
Cheese.
right? Like it's not even like this
Exactly.
place has people coming in.
And then at
Uh,
one point it gets like kind of vandalized. I won't say anything more. And it's after he locked up and he left a door open or something. And she's like, you know, once I put this in, it'll be out of my hands. And then he's like, can we take a walk? So he walks her down to a river,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
sit by
The
a
stupid
river.
like fake romance.
Yes, and he tells her the sob story, and she's like, okay, well, I guess I won't say anything then. So basically, not doing her job, and then takes his sleeping pills that he's been
Oh,
prescribed
right.
and throws them
Uses them
in the
against him.
river
Yeah,
and says you
yeah.
shouldn't be taking these.
Right. Thanks, Doctor Police Officer.
Like fuck off. Oh, she
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
the worst character, and the acting wasn't really good
No,
either.
she's
So
really, really bad. And
yeah,
of all the faults, I have some more to mention. The biggest problem with is this isn't Five Nights at Freddy's. There's one scene besides the finale where these animatronics are killing people. One. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then of course there's some kind of finale. But like one of the other scenes is they build a little fort and lay under it and look
Oh
at the
my god.
ceiling. What was that? So yeah, I just thought this was painfully slow. Um, why did they waste so much time on that family drama? Like I said, we flash back to it a whole bunch. I think kids will probably like this a lot, like young kids, like your kids might end up
I
liking this.
wish I texted you and I said, "Hey, do you think Atticus could watch that?" Because he loves watching the playthroughs. I try not to let him. And
So
you
wait, oh, you
said,
think this is would be too scary?
"No, no, hold
Oh,
on."
okay, go ahead.
He I'm noticing like I wanted to read more of my notes to tell you, and this is off topic. Blame the ADD, but all my notes are about the cop and how much I hated her.
I'm
So I
so
have
glad you
nothing.
did because I
Yeah.
see you, dude. I see you.
But so and I said, you know what? I don't know. Like I'm divorced from my child's parents, my child's mother.
Yeah.
So I did not want to, you know, do something that might upset her. So I texted her
Oh,
and
I
I said,
see.
"Hey, what do you think about this?" And she had a good point that you know, it might be okay for him, but then he would be going to school and talking about it with his friends and teachers, and then it might not be appropriate and stuff like that. So I think he will watch it eventually, maybe when he's a little older. There was only one scene where I think he might have been a little scared.
Yeah, yeah, it's not too bad. There's a couple jump scares.
It's completely bloodless. There is
Yeah.
no blood in this
And they
movie
cut
except
away
for
from a lot of the killings
uh
too.
like the kill that I'm talking about, you see it in a shadow
Yeah. In the
on the
closet? Is it in
wall.
that closet?
No, it's when the girl's going to look in the mouth of the and then
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah. But anyways.
I
Um
did get a kick out of seeing Matt Pat.
is he Matthew Patrick? And he
Yeah,
was
Matt
the
Pat.
waiter?
He's the waiter. Yep.
Yeah,
He
you know YouTubers more than I do.
so he
Um
has done. He's huge. He's huge. His channel is Game Theory, Film Theory, and whatever. And he does these like he's got a pretty good stick figured out on YouTube.
he's
Really good
funny.
production values. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And he usually like comes out with predictions for movies. Um, but I think he's done something like 65 videos on just this game. So they had
Right.
to include him. There was one other YouTuber in this that
Corey
does
Williams was the
yes.
cab driver. He does Corey times Kenshin.
Didn't
Corey
know of
X
that one.
Kenshin. But he's the cab driver and he is in the post credit scene. There is one.
Oh, I
So
didn't stay for it. Okay. I'm glad you
it was
mentioned that.
bullshit. So
There is a Terminator homage that I caught.
really.
Yeah, the red eyes and the mechanical feet going dunk dunk. I'm
Mm.
pretty sure that's an homage to Terminator. So
The
at
whole
least,
that whole fort thing pissed me off too. Like, what was that? Why are we?
what was
What
that?
are they good? Are the animatronics
That's what I'm
good or
saying.
are
It was
they?
pretty confusing.
It was like, and then all of a sudden they're bad. I don't know. And the evil aunt. I mean, come on. What is this, like an ABC '90s like evil stepmom kind of thing? Like she was horrible, and then
Oh yes, way over the top and
way over the top,
ridiculous.
and then she's got this like lawyer. I just felt it was just so cartoony and like
Yeah, they could have made it better with another pass or two
I
at the
don't know.
script. They really could have changed a little bit of the dialogue, fixed just a couple of elements. But you know what? Our opinion doesn't matter. This movie's made $80 million its opening weekend. It will do just fine without us. So,
This is
um,
kind of like reviewing an animated movie for kids
yeah, or
that
like
kids are
us
really excited
reviewing the
about.
Emoji Movie or something.
Yeah, like my son, where he's going to see Trolls 3 for his birthday in November. It comes out right around then, and I'm gonna go see it with him. And will I like it? Probably. Actually, you know what? I haven't minded the first two, but but he's gonna love it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's all that matters.
It is. And
Yeah,
like I liked movies as a kid that I now would not like, and that's totally fine.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's cool that kids love stuff. It's
yeah.
fun. Let them have their fun.
There are
I just didn't like it.
9 Five Nights at Freddy's games. 9
Wow.
of them.
No, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
9, and that's not including DLCs. It says it is.
Wow.
These games have sold over 33.5 million units worldwide.
Wow.
So
Wow. Good for them. That's
it was
great.
first game came out in 2014. So,
Yeah. Yep.
anyways,
Yeah. I
um,
gave it 1.5 stars.
I gave it 1.
Since let's leave this on a positive note. Since it did so well at the box office,
Mm-hmm.
this gives them incentive to make a better movie for the sequels.
Mm-hmm. I always think that too. When a movie like it's gonna do a sequel, I'm always like, well, hopefully they'll do better.
Yeah, they can improve upon what didn't work about this one. So,
Yeah,
oh wait, one last thing. The flashback scenes we mentioned
yeah.
is supposed to be when Josh Hutcherson was much younger because his young
Mm-hmm.
sister wasn't around at the time.
Right, right.
He looks the exact same in the flashbacks.
Well, no, um,
Oh wait, we see a younger version of
yeah,
him.
they did get
Okay,
another actor
okay.
to play him because I was looking at it during and it said young. When you go to Wikipedia and you look at the cast, it says
Yeah, okay, you're right. You're right. The original
Mike, and
scene
then
had him, Mike, as the. Yeah, you're right. Okay,
but when he
I
goes
take it back.
back,
He is at
he's
today's age.
standing there like today, looking back on the time.
Yeah,
Again,
yep.
we didn't need it. The movie was an hour and like 48 minutes, and like what about a good 80, 90 minute movie? Like with some scary stuff. Like I don't like scary games. Like I find I put myself too into the world, and I can't, like, I get scared at Skyrim. That's my favorite game of all time,
Mm-hmm.
and going into the caves sometimes used to scare me. Um, so I haven't played these games for that reason, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
why
We could have
wasn't this
used
scary at
more
all?
nights at Freddy's instead of
Yeah,
more days in the woods. I do want to say the animatronics looked pretty cool. I think they were
that's what I meant to
practical.
say.
I think they were practical, and
They
they were
were
pretty cool looking.
they were done by my man, my favorite guy in the
Oh,
entire world, Jim Henson.
that's right.
He had it was done by Jim Henson's company. They looked amazing. They looked amazing, so good.
Yeah. Oh, and
Not
that reminds me, Mitch, totally off topic, but if you still want me to get you that pop figure, just remind me and I will to send to
Oh
you.
yeah, that little one. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. All
Right.
right, so then let's move on now to what do you want? What do you want to do next?
Well, let me break down Anatomy of a Fall. I'll set that
Yeah,
one
okay,
up.
let's talk about that. Set it up and
Um,
then
yeah. So
let's cover it.
Anatomy of a Fall is a 2023 French courtroom drama thriller.
Have you seen the trailer before?
I saw the trailer a lot. They were
Okay.
showing kind of like a trailer where it also showed the making of before, like, in the
Yes.
pre-show at my
Yep.
theater. So I've seen it quite a few times.
Which let me pause you for a second. I don't really like that. And Killers
Me
of the
either.
Flower Moon did that. Martin Scorsese comes on
Yeah,
before the movie and is like, "Hey, I want to thank you for the," and they're showing how it's made right before we're
yeah.
about to see it. I'm like, "No,
Well,
wait."
this one's different. Like this played before other movies.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and it was like, I thought it was because it was a Canadian movie, and but I think French movies play well over here too because we do have a big
Yes.
French population.
Yep.
And this movie is partly in English, partly in French. I really liked how they did that.
Me too. But yeah, all right. So who's in
Directed
it? Who
by
directed it?
Justine Triet. I
So she did the only movie she did that I know I actually saw was
I
Sybil.
Sybil. Yes, I remember people talking about that, but I have not seen anything she's done. But she did win the Palme d'Or at the
You know who's
2023.
in Sybil? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. Who?
The reason I went to see it was because Adele Exarchopoulos
Oh
is in it.
yes.
Yeah, her and um Sandra
Yeah.
Hüller, who is the main character
Who is in
here.
this?
And I
Yeah.
actually had to look this up and see, did I see that? And I'm like, oh, I wrote an actual review, and
Wow.
yeah, so that came out in 2019. So yeah, that's her.
Okay.
That
Well,
was her big
she
one.
won Best Director at Cannes Film Festival, the Palme d'Or, becoming the third female director to win the award, and deservedly so. I
Was
think
it
she.
Titan last year? Was that the Palme d'Or winner? I think so.
I don't know. You look that up.
Okay, yeah.
This stars Sandra Hüller, who I don't think I really knew her in much.
No, but she's also in a movie coming out later this year. Do you know?
Yes. I can't remember what it was called. It was
Zone of
not
Interest.
Zone of. She is in Zone of Interest.
Yes.
Yes. That is Jonathan Glazer's Holocaust movie coming out later this year that I am really excited for. Not that I'm excited about a Holocaust movie, but it's it's probably going to be good. And so, anyways, she is at home one day. She has a lady come over to interview her.
Yeah, she's an
And
author.
yeah, sorry, she's an author, and her husband is playing loud music upstairs, like, and she's frustrated. She has to end the interview, and not very long later, he has fallen to his death. Her husband. This happens in the first. That's what the whole movie's about. Her husband has fallen from the attic window, or has he? Right? That's what
Right.
is.
Yeah,
Has
was
he
he pushed?
fallen,
What
or
happened?
was
Yeah.
he pushed? Was he blah blah blah? And this movie takes you through the ins and outs of whether this man was pushed, the courtroom drama, the lawyers trying to help her story, um, they have a blind son, or
Visually
he's not,
impaired, yeah.
yeah, he's vision impaired, and he who had an accident when he was 4, so he's partly blind, and so it's basically just her testimony, and certain things start to come to light, and did she do it or did she not? And 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 I'll just start going into like my review. I think this movie is really interesting because we see part like it's a courtroom drama. We've seen it a million times, but it's not just a courtroom drama. It takes you from the moment the incident happens and you see like everything in such an intense, great way. Things start to come out. You're like, "Oh, this doesn't look good." Um, she has a friend who becomes her lawyer, and her lawyer is advising her, and like the one line that you see in the trailer,
Yeah.
she looks at him and says, "I didn't do it," and her friend, "No, I didn't kill my husband," and her friend, the lawyer,
Lawyer
says,
says
"That
that's not
doesn't
the point.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the point. We have to show the jury that you are
You
not
couldn't
guilty."
have done it. Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. And things start to come up like that where it's like maybe she did, maybe she didn't. It's really interesting, and there is a great dynamic between her and her son.
Yep.
That which is a really great arc I felt for the son.
Yes.
That comes around. And obviously, like Sandra Huller, I'm excited to see her in Zone of Interest.
Too.
She's incredible here. The son's great. The lawyer's great. The husband is great because obviously we get some flashbacks and stuff. This is a really really good movie. I wouldn't mind seeing it up for a few Oscars. You were saying that it was up for some Gotham. No, yes, no.
Yeah, I think so. Or she was. She was.
Yes,
but it might have been for Zone of Interest.
I think it was for Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
But,
either way, she's up for one. So.
Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, I loved it. So I purposely avoided the trailers. But of course I knew something. If someone falls and it's a court, it's going to be it's going to go to court. But yeah, I really loved this, man. But I actually was slow to like it. The opening scene with that interview, she to me, she felt kind of like she was being rude to that interviewer. Not that her husband was obviously kind of pissed off at her, so he was purposely playing that music. It seemed like she didn't really care. She didn't say, let's go to another room. She didn't ask her husband to turn the music down.
Yeah.
So I found her a little abrasive and off-putting at first. But as soon as we get to the courtroom, this movie sings, man. It just, like you said, shit's revealed. More history comes up. And it's such a good display of relationships and how they can be complicated and not black and white.
Yeah.
She loves her husband, but there's some things that have happened in their past that if you were going to kill someone, this could very easily be played at the trial and say, look, you wanted to kill them, but it's like, no, marriage can be like that, especially with kids, as you probably know better than I do.
Yeah.
I thought it was depicted really well. And yeah, she was the star to me. Her like steely blue eyes, she's sometimes matched with like a blue shirt, and there's a lot of extreme close-ups here too. And so she does so much with her face to emote and how she's feeling. And I love that we're not sure if she did it or not. It seems like maybe she didn't, but yeah, there's some stuff that gets uncovered where it's like, shit, I hope she didn't do this. Like I really didn't want her to do it, and yeah, they're out in this like small chalet on the mountains. There's no other people around. So it's like, it could happen. It could definitely happen. There was some handheld scenes, so I like the director's like, I really thought the director was confident here. And what I mean by that was they're like, I don't know if this is true, but I get a feeling that if you're a new director, you're worried that not enough is going on. You're quick to cut, but this director felt confident in just having a camera sit still and look at someone's face while somebody else is talking, just to drink in what that character's feeling in that moment. And I thought that showed a lot of confidence for that director.
I think she got a great performance out of Sandra Huller.
Yeah.
It was just so engrossing, and Sandra Huller's performance never portrays the answer.
Right. She doesn't give it away. Yeah.
She doesn't give it, like, there's times where you're like, did you do it?
Right.
Like your mannerisms right now, like, I can't tell. Did you do it? Didn't you do it?
Yeah. It's like, if you're innocent, wouldn't you be acting a little differently? Like, come on.
Yeah. Like, what's going on here? And I don't know. And so, yeah, I don't want to give anything more away, but except for the fact the prosecutor, he was a dick.
I was just gonna say he did a fantastic job of playing a fucking asshole.
Yes.
And Yeah.
Are they like that? Are they all like that? Like, because if I was
Oh
on a
yeah.
jury, I'd be like you're being an asshole to her.
Right.
I don't know. Like
Yeah,
it's
and it's like, do you want the truth or do you just want to win this case, right?
yeah,
Like,
it was weird, but
he brings in their experts and they say that there's this blood spatter couldn't have happened if this
yeah,
was this way. Then they have their refuting arguments to that. So,
I was
yeah,
very tense and on the edge of my
it really
seat.
was. And normally I'm not like that impressed or often like, lots of courtroom drama movies, but this one was done great because it's not just in the courtroom. We cut away to
Exactly.
different things.
Yeah,
And yeah,
and I
man, I
like
love this movie.
I love the way they like so there is a recording at one point that they play in the courtroom, and they play it for a bit and then it cuts to
The
the
scene they're
scene,
playing from, yeah.
and it was just so well done, like, and I can see why she won the Palme d'Or for best director. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah. I can see why the public liked this movie.
Yeah.
Let me just see if there's
So
anything else that I had to say about it.
what'd you give it?
I actually gave it 4.5 stars.
Me too.
I
Wow,
put it
that's
at
two
four.
movies.
I
No, we
know,
didn't.
right? No, it is. I gave 1.5 to
Yeah,
Freddy.
never mind.
Freddy got fingered. I was gonna mark it 4, but then I'm like, what
Yeah.
what better could this have done? Like,
Yeah,
this is a
exactly.
great movie. I'm gonna recommend it to my parents.
Me too. Me too.
And like you said, I like how they did the different languages here, right? Like it's a lot of it's in
Yeah.
English, and there's that comes into play too. Like of course she speaks French, but she's German,
Yeah.
and as part of the trial prep,
Yeah.
the lawyer's like, hey, you really need to speak as much French as you can because you're talking to a French jury, right? Like,
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
make them see you as a peer, do as much as you can with French. So a few times she has to
Yeah.
say, like, she's talking, she's like, yeah, I was walking on my, oh, how do you say this in French? Like, so the
Yeah.
language dynamic is a part of this movie too. So
Really,
yeah, really
really
good movie.
interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the part where she's told she has to speak English in front of someone, um, and she can't speak French to that person, her son. I like she like later on in the movie, she's like, anything you say to your son, because your son may be a witness, you
Oh,
have to
right.
speak in
Yes,
this
because they have that corner
language.
pointed. Yes.
Yeah. Really interesting. It takes some interesting turns. So I won't say anymore. It's in theaters right now. I think it's going to be streaming fairly soon. So keep a look at it.
Yeah,
Or
definitely see this. There's really not anyone I wouldn't recommend this to.
yeah, me too. I don't know
Yeah, it's
who
really good.
wouldn't
It's
like
it's
this.
it's very like I said, as soon as we got to the court scenes, I'm like, oh shit, I'm in on this movie. Let's see where it's
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well, why don't you tell us about David Fincher's new movie, The Killer, which I didn't get to
Yeah.
see. I'm gonna wait. It's gonna be on Netflix soon.
Yep.
So why don't you tell us how it was in theaters?
Yeah, all right. So, like you said, David Fincher, the killer. This is him working with uh
Michael
the
Fassbender?
yes, but also the writer Andrew Kevin Walker, who he wrote Seven with.
Yes.
And did you see Windfall? Ryan Gosling, Jesse Plemons. I'm pretty
No.
sure you did. It came out during COVID. Remember, they break into his house. Jesse Plemons is like a billionaire, and
No, I never saw
oh,
that
sorry,
one.
not Gosling. The other tall guy, Jason Segel.
Oh, I did see that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew you
Oh, I
had. I knew you
completely
had.
forgot about that one.
Yeah, so he
Wow.
wrote that too. So he did. So he wrote 8mm. He wrote Seven. He wrote Windfall, and
Okay.
there was one other, Wolfman, Sleepy Hollow, something like that.
Okay.
So Fassbender's teaming with him. He's a good writer, obviously. In here we have, really, this is the Michael Fassbender show.
Mhm.
You have Tilda Swinton is
Oh,
seen in this
okay.
later in the movie. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a cameo, but it's not that big a deal that she's a character in this movie. And all right, so the plot goes like this: after a fateful near miss, an assassin battles his employers himself on an international manhunt. He insists isn't personal, but it absolutely is. So,
Hmm.
okay, first, this is a story we've seen a lot of times. An assassin doing what assassins do. Something goes wrong. Something gets fucked in their plan, and now he has to improvise to I mean, this is like, John Wick. This is the Bourne movies, and on and on and on. There's lots and lots of movies like this. But what makes this one interesting is this is pretty much all narrated by Michael Fassbender. So we're in his head the whole time. He's in like peak physical shape, and it shows how boring that job would be because he has to sit in places for days and days to wait for a target to show up. And so he misses a shot, and apparently he narrates that he had never missed a shot before this. He is like he said he's batting 1,000. So he misses a shot, hits somebody else. The consequences of that aren't really that important. We never really find out who he was going for. He talks about how he doesn't care who he kills. He doesn't wear a flag. He's not part of any political party. He's just paid to do a job.
So a hitman, like for hire to anyone.
Yeah, hitman for hire, exactly. And because of that, the person that funded this hit doesn't want any loose ends, so they send some consequences after him. And I'll just say that, maybe not him directly, but maybe someone he cares about. And on and on. So
I think that's good. That's vague enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the story. It's pretty standard. You could sum it up in just a couple sentences. But what makes this movie better is I say this: the killer gives us a familiar story, but with a nice new set of paint and new rims on it, right? Because Michael Fassbender is excellent in this. He has these rules: don't improvise, stick with the plan. He does methods that are clever, to getting rid of a body, to traveling on an unknown identity, don't get seen by cameras. And it's because it's Fincher, the script is clever and snappy. There's some great quotes and sayings that I don't know if he made up, but they sound like, oh, that's something I bet someone will say in the future and apply it to another realm of something. There's some really cool style here. The locations they use, they're all over Europe, and even back into some places in the US. New Orleans. Oh, one of the quotes was about New Orleans. So New Orleans is a city in the southern part of the country here, Mitch. And
I know what New Orleans is.
All right. Well, I don't know if you know every city.
Okay, no, sorry. Thank you.
So it's known for its jazz, its food.
I've been there actually.
Oh, all right. So
sorry.
So it's extremely humid down there always. So he gets off the plane in New Orleans and he says to himself, New Orleans, it's something like this: a city with 1,000 restaurants that all have the same menu. I'm like, oh, that just nails it, because he's absolutely right. It's all Cajun food. Yep. It's all the same stuff, which I love, by the way, but it's true.
And I don't really like seafood. I don't eat seafood much. So I remember being there and I was like, oh my God, is this every restaurant? That's so funny.
Yeah, right. That's and I'm like, of course, that's a good writer, So this to me is a 3.5 star movie, because of the simplicity of its story and what we've seen before. Like I said, it's just like a tier above, a little better, because of how good the writing is, how good just the quality of everything, the acting, the sets, the costume. He even talks about why he wears the type of clothing he wears to blend in with his surroundings, easier. So I don't think he made a mistake of skipping this in the theater, because it will be on Netflix soon. I don't know if I could see this getting any Oscars, although I bet it wants to, because of who makes it. But it's just a good movie. It's a good movie. I'm going to recommend it to my dad. I don't even think it's 2 hours. And my theater was pretty full for the 9:30 showing of this on Friday night. So yeah, if you come across it, if it's free on Netflix, it's worth a watch. But
November 10th,
pieces of it. What's that?
November 10th on Netflix.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's just a few days away. So check it out on Netflix. But if you don't catch it, you're not going to miss out too much. But if you like assassin movies, or this is one of the things I do really like, is people that are really good at the jobs they do. Those are always fascinating to watch, and Fassbender definitely is here. So 3.5 star, The Killer. It'll be on Netflix November 10th.
Yeah, I was just gonna look up, but now my computer is being mean to me.
Go for it. You can while you're doing that.
What's that?
I was saying, while you're doing that, I'll look and see. I think you're gonna give us When Evil Lurks next.
Yes, we are gonna do When Evil Lurks. It is David Fincher has been nominated 3 times for directing. for Curious Case of Benjamin Button
Social
and
Network
Social Network
and
and
Mank,
Mank.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, like he's been hit or miss with nominations. I don't know. Like Social Network was obviously his big one.
Yeah, yep.
But it didn't win Best Picture, did it?
I think it might have.
Okay, guess. Oh yeah, it won 3 Oscars. What do you think they are? Go.
Um, actor, script, and picture.
What actor would have won?
Probably Eisenberg, maybe, or
I
the
don't think.
Winklevoss twins, because they were played by one person.
See, IMDb just sucks now. I
I
I
know
I
that
I
frustration. That's why I'm laughing because I agree.
I can't even tell you. There it is. It won for Best Achievement in Cinematography.
Oh, damn.
Aaron
Okay.
Sorkin won for Adapted Screenplay.
Oh, okay. I said script. Yep.
You did say script, and then it won editor. Uh,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I did not know Jesse Eisenberg was nominated. So it was nominated for 8 Oscars.
Okay. Yeah.
I maybe David Fincher should have won for that. I don't know.
Probably.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, check it out. Check it out when you come across it. So, When Evil Lurks. This is the one I hyped up big time. The Argentinian movie that's super brutal. What did you think of this? Or
you
do you
want to
want to
set?
set up what the movie's about?
You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay, you set it up.
Yeah. So When Evil Lurks, like I said, is Argentinian. It came out. Um, it had like a quiet release where it went into a few theaters, like 100 theaters or so, and people in the film community, like Cinematics podcast and us,
Yeah.
as soon as we heard about it, it was like, I got to see this right away.
Well, the word
And
of mouth was just
yeah, was
good.
ravenous, and it's like a good exorcism movie, right? Um, it's a remote village. These people are familiar with exorcisms. It's something they believe in and
Just
is real.
don't give too much away. I think this movie is
Best enjoyed without knowing anything. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to step all over you. I just Bruce Perky's been has kind of gotten me on this thing about this movie where it's just best to not know much going into it.
Yeah, I agree
Because
because I
this
didn't.
movie takes some wild turns. And is it an exorcism movie? I don't know.
Right,
Maybe.
not really kind of. I mean, that's what the initial setup says it is.
Is it
But
a supernatural movie? Is it a zombie movie? Is it
right.
all of that in one? I don't know. You're gonna like
Yeah, you're gonna have to find out. And
a
it's brutal and unapologetic, and our main character is not a hero. He makes some dumbass decisions, or he's done things in the past that make us look at him unfavorably, which I think makes him a richer character.
They are
And
two
yeah, two
two
brothers.
brothers, Pedro and Jamie. Um, and basically, I'll just give this a little setup. Um, and it's a great little setup. One night they're I don't know, I don't understand. They're out in the farmland. I don't really understand what their job is.
I think they just have a
Um,
small farm that they rent
yeah.
from the like headmaster guy.
So they're away from the city. And do you think this took place in present day? I didn't think so at first, but then later on, maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either because of how rudimentary they were living, but a lot of the cars looked pretty modern,
Yeah.
and there were cell phones that looked like iPhones. So yeah,
I don't know. It's confusing, but so they hear gunshots. This is what I've kind of sold the movie to as people. So they hear gunshots one night, and I do like is because it felt true. It's like the middle of the night, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll check that out in the morning,"
right, because
which I felt like,
yeah,
yeah, like who would go out there at night and deal with it? So so they go to the back of their property the next morning, and they find half a body basically just laying there. So it's the lower half of the body, and with the body is a open case with instruments, not musical instruments, but instruments that they don't know what they're for. One guy says, I kind of recognize these. And then they find like papers with with one of their neighbors' photo and ID on it. And basically, that leads them into an investigation of what happened here, what happened with this dead body. And it goes so far beyond that.
yeah, it just keeps taking a turn, keeps taking a turn.
Yes, it reminded me of so many movies.
Yeah, it's like
And
a breakneck pace. Like
yes,
you think you're getting relief in a minute, and it's like, oh no, this is
yes,
fucked now. Oh god, this is even worse. This is even
yes.
worse. And it's
This,
it's about evil manifesting itself and
yeah,
um, following you
it's
around, and they have specific rules on how to
mhm,
handle it because they again this is like something that this community knows about, like it happens from time to time and there's a procedure for it.
yeah, I
um
love it. I love the
so you liked
world
it, okay,
building.
good, so you liked the movie.
Oh, 4.5 stars. This is the best horror I've seen this year, I
I think
think.
so too for me, man. It's so good, it just took me by
It's
surprise.
yeah,
It's
it's
unapologetic, it's mean to think,
unflinching.
yeah, there's
It doesn't
shocking
pull
things.
punches.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh,
And
yeah, there
I just love when um filmmakers and creatives have the balls to take serious risks like this.
yeah.
A major US, a major North American studio would never make a movie
No.
like this. No
No.
way.
There is one scene with a little kid, and we know what's going to happen
Yes,
at
and
this point.
we're watching it in slow motion. It's like,
It's
holy shit, please no, please
like
no.
we're cut like I watched the first 20 minutes of this movie, and then I said no, I gotta, like, I have to watch this with John. Like, I he was doing something else. I called him in the room, like, you need to watch this with me because I know I'm going to talk about it so much that you're going to want to watch it later.
Yep.
So he came and I started it over right from the very beginning, and just watching him watch those first 20 minutes and everything, and then just where it went, and
There's
yeah,
some
it's
awesome effects. It
mhm,
looks like there's some CGI, but
practical.
there's definitely a lot of practical, gross and
Yes.
drippy and
Oh,
pus, and it's just dirty and gross, but it's just fucking awesome. This movie kicks ass. I
yeah,
love it. And this,
yeah,
these are the movies that that we love as movie fans, right? We
yeah,
never heard a word about any of these people, and all of a
yeah.
sudden here it is.
Here
It's
it
like a
is.
Christmas present. It's so
Yeah,
fun to find these movies. So
and it's
I'm
on
so glad you
Shutter.
liked it. Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
Shutter, right?
so it
Stream on
premiered at
Shutter.
TIFF. It's on Shutter now. You know, go get a, what do you call that, trial period with
Yeah, yep.
Shutter.
7-day free
And
trial. Yep.
yeah, I love Shutter. I mean, they're very hit or miss, but I like to support them because they've done things like this and Mad God and Speak No Evil, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so yeah, so that's When Evil Lurks.
Yeah, I
Would
also gave
you?
it 4.5.
That's funny. We are
I went
lining
three
up.
for three.
Yeah. So
All right, what you got next?
yeah. So have we talked about everything you've seen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna quickly talk about this movie called Hell House. It's a really long title, so it is called Hell House LLC Origins: The Carmichael Manor.
Wow, I thought that was
Um,
a TV show when you wrote it,
no,
just because of its name. So, all right,
yeah.
what's it about?
So it's a group of investigators. Like, they do, like, they go in haunted places, and they, see what's going on. They YouTube
Yeah.
it, whatever. So three people, they go and they're investigating this thing that happened in the 80s, with the Carmichael family. They ended up dead. The Hell House LLC franchise. I have only seen the first original movie that came out in
How
like
many are
20.
there?
I think there's like five now, four or
Okay.
five. That first movie, Hell House, it's just called Hell House LLC. It's the only one I've seen besides this, and it's really really good, really creepy, found footage. This is partly found footage, partly documentary style.
Okay.
There's some talking heads, but they're actors, um talking about what happened. This movie, I'm talking about it because it's new. I wouldn't really recommend it. I'm 2.5 stars on this.
Okay.
There's some creepy clown type stuff that happens, but if you haven't seen the first Hell House LLC, just go watch that instead. It's because
This
you
is
get,
also a Shutter original.
yeah, this is exclusively on Shutter.
Yeah.
And I will one day watch the rest of them because I've heard like two and three are they're all pretty good. And yeah, but just skip this one. The acting is really bad. The lead character is annoying, and yeah, and found footage, I find like it's got to be like really good.
I'm with you, man. I'm just burnt out from
Me
found
too.
footage.
Me too.
You know what I hate the most about it? I just realized it is the fake authenticity of
Yeah.
it, you know? So they like put on a character for the camera and like exaggerate reactions for the camera.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
yeah,
other thing I hate about it is now is like we've had so much of it and it's like
right.
the movie looks like crap. Like because you're trying to like with VHS 85, like I was like kind of annoyed because they were trying to make it look like a VHS and I'm like I don't want to watch that anymore. I don't want to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
a movie with like the lines going through it and it's cutting out and you can the audio is shit.
Static, yeah.
Yeah, so
So the only counterpoint I would say to that is when a movie is showing someone watching that, or think of M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit
or Sinister.
or Sinister. In The Visit, when the kids are Skyping with their mom who is on a cruise ship in the Caribbean,
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
like perfect 4K video call, which no way back in the late 2000s.
Yeah, yeah.
But then also the stuff that they film on their bargain cameras that their mom got from the discounted good bins or whatever, those
Mhm.
are those are definitely shot with red cameras that M. Night
Yeah.
Shyamalan is operating. And
And that's
if
what I'm
you're
saying.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm like, if you're trying to make this as if this is the kids' footage, why are you using professional cameras when you could just save money and use the cameras that they're supposedly using?
Oh, see, and I'd rather them just use professional cameras and me as an audience member, I will pretend that it is, that
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, yeah.
handheld.
You're willing
I
to take that leap, yeah.
just because I'm just sick of it. I've seen so many found footage movies and yeah. Anyways,
Okay,
skip
so
this one.
that's Hell House LLC.
Quickly, I saw Slugs from 1988. This is a great one to throw on Halloween night. It's a perfect 3-star banger. Like
Is
you know,
it
you
made by anybody of name?
uh, it's from 1988, made
Oh,
by
okay.
Jean Pierre Simon, and it's on Tubi. It's a perfect one to just throw on. It's cheesy. There's some good practical effects. Killer slugs are just killing people. I can't say anything more than that. I said in my review, have you ever seen a movie where have you ever seen a movie where the creature killing people can be killed by slightly tapping them with a frying pan, which
Oh yeah,
happens?
Slaughterhouse.
Oh yeah, no. So these slugs start coming out of the sink in one scene, and the guy's like, "Oh no, the slugs!" And he walks over with a frying pan, and he just like starts hitting them, and they just explode. And I'm like, "Yeah, it was so." But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And then 1408. Have you ever seen that?
No, that's on my list of shame. I know I need to see that.
Well,
Morgan Freeman.
uh oh, you
Oh
think every black
no.
guy is
Oh
Morgan
no,
Freeman,
I
don't
did
you?
it. I
No, I'm
did
kidding.
it.
It's Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack. Samuel L. Jackson has a pretty small part. He's the hotel owner. John Cusack is the guy. It's based on a Stephen King novella, short story. John Cusack goes to. He's a one of those. He writes about you see those novels, the 10 scariest places
Yes.
in New Orleans or LA, right? And he's doing one on LA. He goes to this Dolphin Hotel. They have this hotel room where nobody is allowed to stay. It's called 1408.
Right.
And he goes there and even once he gets there, Samuel L. Jackson is the owner of the hotel. And or not the owner, but the manager. And he says, "You don't want to go in that room. Um, you don't even know how many people have died in that room." Like, and he's telling them all this stuff, and John Cusack doesn't believe. He doesn't believe. Whatever, I don't care. It won't happen to me. And he goes into the room, and some really crazy stuff happens, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
I gave this one 4 stars. It's streaming on Amazon Prime. You could do a lot worse. I wouldn't say it's crazy scary. And yeah, I really liked it. 3.5 stars. So yeah, 1408. Kind of working through my Stephen King.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say this is a Stephen King, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
S-
then you want to do streaming and I'll do theaters?
Yeah, what's coming? Why don't you tell me what's coming to theaters first?
All right, so Priscilla is one, I guess the biggest one this weekend, but I don't even think it's going to be like fully wide, like 3,000 theaters. But
Okay.
to me, this is them cashing in on the success of the Elvis movie that came out last
Yeah.
year. Was that last year? Whatever. I've seen pieces of the trailer. This looks like it could be good.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be seeing it.
I've heard good things out of the festival it was at. I can't remember
Yeah,
which
you're
one
right.
it was,
You're
but
right.
I
I
did
think
hear good things.
there was some decent buzz about this. So yeah, that's Priscilla. That's this weekend. Next one is The Marsh King's Daughter, which I'm just interested in this just because it has Daisy Ridley in her career. You know, her career is interesting. She's like, you know, mostly after someone would do a Star Wars movie, they would just go and do 100 different movies, work with a bunch of directors. But she's been, you know, unlucky in some cases with that Chaos Walking movie she did.
Yeah, she did
which
a
was
couple.
terrible. And then she was also, remember, she had a small part in that
Murder on the Orient Express.
Murder on the Orient Express. And then she was also in The Bubble, which was Judd Apatow's really bad movie from 2022. Did you see The Bubble?
I actually liked that one a little bit.
I didn't hate it. But it was very poorly received.
The rest of the cast in this is pretty good. Like Ben Mendelsohn and Brooklyn Prince is in this as well. She's from the Florida Project.
Yeah. And it looks interesting. There's a murder. She's getting revenge on the person that kidnapped her mother. Yeah, it looks like she might be good in it. So that's The Marsh King's Daughter, and it's rated R. It comes out next weekend. Next is What Happens Later. I think, you know, maybe We Hate Movies mentioned this. This looks like a 90s rom-com called What Happens Later. It has David Duchovny from X-Files and Meg Ryan.
Right. This is her return to acting after 8 years. 9 years.
And it looks like they're in an airport. So like, or some of it's in an airport. So it looks like a movie we've seen before.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll see this one, but maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Then you have Radical, which is Eugenio Derbez, who we've seen a lot of kind of in some small parts here and there. This is a Mexico border town full of neglect, corruption, and violence. They try a radical new method to unlock their students' curiosity and potential. He's a teacher and maybe come up with solutions to their town's problems. So that's also this weekend. Then next is Rumble Through the Dark, which I hadn't heard of at all.
Yeah.
This has Bella Thorne. Do you remember her?
Is she a porn actor? Or?
No, I think she did like an OnlyFans thing, but she would take kind of like hot photos for Instagram and stuff.
Right.
She definitely had the looks for it, or maybe she still does. So she was kind of like the new Lindsay Lohan, where she was doing like Hallmark type movies and stuff.
Right.
But she's okay. She's been in a couple things that I like. But then her and Aaron Eckhart are in this.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the dark landscape of the Mississippi Delta. Speaking of New Orleans, bare knuckle cage fighter seeks to repay his debts in a final desperate attempt to salvage the family home of his dying foster mother. So it could be good. It sounds maybe a little corny or cheesy. Then the last one that's new this weekend is The Tunnel to Summer and the Exit of Goodbyes. This looks like a Suzume or
animation kind of.
Yeah, one of those anime Studio Ghibli movies. I don't know if it's Ghibli or not, but
I just looked at it. It's not, but
but is Tomohisa Taguchi, is he's a well-known
not sure
anime maker, right? Let's see. He did Persona.
By the way,
okay, maybe not. Yeah, it looks like he's done all the Persona ones and then a couple others. So
yeah,
that's what's coming to theaters. I'll definitely see probably most of these. Priscilla, The Marsh King's Daughter, Radical, and maybe Rumble Through the Dark. So what's streaming? Or what were you
I was just going to say,
that?
By the way, happy Halloween. We are an hour and 15 minutes, or it's 1:15 a.m. on Halloween. So
yeah, I always hate when it's on a middle of the week like this.
I know. Somebody, I've seen a lot of things going around, like, should Halloween be on the last Saturday of October?
I would totally vote for that. Yep.
Yeah.
And another piece, this is totally off topic, and you probably won't care about this because I think this is US centric. The Super Bowl should always be on Saturday. During that time of year, either that or Monday should be a holiday, because everyone has these parties, like really traffic changes. Nobody goes to movies that night. It's still like the most watched event of anything for every year. Do it Saturday. All the college games are over by then. Just because the NFL owns Sunday already, like Sunday night. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's my complaint.
while we're on the topic of it, let's get rid of daylight saving times.
Oh
Daylight
man,
savings time.
so lots of states in the U.S. have started to do that,
I've heard that.
which
And
has made
Canada
shit
has
even more confusing.
yeah. Canada has started to, like, every year there's a talk about it and it's like, are we gonna do it? And then it doesn't happen, but I don't know.
Yeah, and you,
Um
especially in Canada, and when I lived in Chicago, you notice it big time.
mm,
Way more in colder climates is it
like
impactful.
6:30 p.m. here, it's starting to get dark, and it's like, why do we have to make that worse?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
insane.
it's yeah.
That's insane.
So coming to streaming, on Hulu as of today, October 31st, we have A Haunting in Venice will be on Hulu. So you can watch that, the Kenneth Branagh Hercule Poirot movie. A new movie called Fingernails, starring Miss Jessie Buckley,
Oh, I was like,
and
what?
yes, Riz Ahmed,
Oh,
movie coming out. It'll be on Apple TV Plus on Friday, November 3rd. And it follows two people as they begin to grow closer to each other in unexpected ways. Jessie Buckley, Anna, she believes she is in a happy relationship as she passed a test that tells her it is true love. When she begins working for the company that runs the test with Amir Riz Ahmed, who has relationship challenges of his own, their understandings of love and connection would put to the test. It says the less is known, the better about this movie. So,
oh, and Luke Wilson's also in it. It kind of sounds like a Black Mirror episode,
yeah,
but
interesting.
cool. I like
Yeah,
Riz Ahmed a lot. Actually, I like Jessie Buckley too.
yeah, I like both of them. Um, Insidious: The Red Door will be on Netflix this Saturday.
Ooh,
Yeah, it wasn't that great, but did really well at the box
yeah,
office.
it did. Yep.
The Kill Room. Did you see this?
Why does that sound familiar?
The Kill Room, a lackluster dark comedy kept afloat by Uma Thurman. It kind of came and went, had a limited theatrical release.
Nope, I
Um,
didn't. I didn't catch this
yeah,
one.
so that'll be on VOD on Friday, but it's her, Samuel L. Jackson, and
Uma Thurman,
Joe
Joe Manganiello,
Manganiello.
yeah, and
Yeah,
Uma Thurman.
yeah.
Okay,
Magic Mike's Last Dance will be on Hulu Thursday, November 2nd. Did you see that?
I didn't, man. I missed that one.
Big Fat Greek Wedding will be on Peacock on Friday.
Woof.
Three, sorry, that's three.
Yeah,
And then Naiad will be on Netflix on Friday.
check that out.
Yes.
It's good.
I'm surprised about this. Well, not too surprised, but Paw Patrol will be on VOD.
Oh,
Is already on VOD as of today, and a new comedy with Aquafina and Sandra Oh called Quiz Lady. A road trip film. They're sisters. They are going to compete on a television game show. Early reviews are pretty good. It's going to be on Hulu on Friday. And then there's a
and Will Ferrell's
documentary.
in that too, by the way.
Is he? I didn't see
Yeah,
that. Oh,
and Tony
um,
Hale and Jason Schwartzman.
nice.
Okay.
And then a documentary about Sylvester Stallone called Sly,
I
will be
bet
on.
that would be interesting if he
Yeah,
wasn't in creative control.
yeah. That'll be on Netflix this Friday as well, and on Netflix this Friday, a movie that you and I both recommend, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, will be available for everyone to watch on Netflix.
I mean, how
So
could you have not already seen that by now, right?
yes. Oh, and the documentary Now and Then, the last Beatles song. There has been a previously unreleased Beatles song. Paul McCartney and Ringo have worked on it. There's going to be a
Really, there's
little,
still music that
yeah.
hasn't been released. Wow.
They say this is the last song. It was kind of unfinished. I don't know. So there's going to be a little documentary to go along with it on Disney Plus. I think
Okay.
it's a short documentary, but
Yeah.
yeah. So anyways,
Cool, man.
that's about it. Anything else?
No, no. I guess we'll come back after maybe this coming weekend's movies, right?
Yep. We'll do something next week. And
Oh,
you're
yeah,
starting
and
your
let's
new
do our.
job. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yep, I start that next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But
And
that shouldn't impact what we do here.
no, and we will do Patreon as well, which will be
Yeah,
a
we'll do our
recap.
Patreon episode and watch that movie that was assigned to us. Should we
Yes.
watch the movie for that Patreon episode?
No, I'm hoping Matt will let us give till the end of November, and then by then we'll have if he goes on for another month, we'll have another movie for the next month, which will be
cool.
at the end of December. Or
yeah, and he probably would want his movie read to non-patrons so everyone can hear it.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, right.
So
I think that's a better way to do it, because then if
I did talk to him and he said he's like, I don't want to do more work for you guys, so you don't have to do like a special episode if you want to talk about it on the regular episode, and then it gets to more ears, but we can kind of bring it up on the final episode as well. So
okay, cool.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. As always, follow us on socials, rate, share, review, all that jazz. Happy Halloween. I will be releasing this on Halloween. So, yeah, happy Halloween.
Yeah, and tomorrow it's November. So I think we're just going to continue to be getting rapid fire awards hopeful. So
yeah,
it's just getting better and better. I mean, seeing The Killer, Anatomy of a Fall, and I guess that's it. Maybe Naiad all in the same week was awesome, you know?
Yeah. Well, those are very fall-like movies.
Yeah, right? Yep.
And not that When Evil Lurks is, but you have, my friends, you have access to When Evil Lurks now. If you don't mind foreign films and horror that is very dark, go watch this. So
yeah, it's definitely not for kids.
No,
not at all. Not at
all.
No, really not. It's a very adult and pretty scary movie. There's no way that it's not in my top 10 of this year.
I'm thinking so too. I don't know. I gotta it's
gotta be for because of the delta between knowing nothing and then how good it was, you know.
Yeah,
so like
exactly.
Five Nights at Freddy might not be the worst movie I saw this year, but I wasn't like super expecting it, you know. It's all about expectations.
Yeah, that's true. Expectations, yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting much from Five Nights at Freddy's, but
yeah, I guess I wasn't either.
But I mean, I was expecting at least a decent movie, like you know, something to pass the time, and I would never watch it again. You know,
no way.
Yeah,
no way.
All right, guys.
All right, have a good night, Mitch, and we'll talk soon, man.
Yep, you too. Okay, 3, 2, 1, stop.
Got it.
Okay.
File, export. What episode? 39, 38.
38. Yes.
It says THP 38 with Mark and Andrew.
Yes, every week you haven't noticed. Every week I do different names.
Oh, I thought maybe that was from the film.
I started that last week. Last week I did Mike and Ant. I spelled it with AUNT. This week I did Mark and Andrew. I don't know, just something to break the monotony.
Sure, man.
All right, buddy. Get some sleep. Good luck tomorrow with all the interviews.
I got shit to do in the morning, which will be fine. It's all done from this chair here, so it's not that big a deal.
If you don't need to send this to me right now.
Okay, I'm gonna let the upload run, and then I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah. Okay, bud.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Hollywood Persona podcast. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at The Hollywood Persona. Feel free to email the show at thehollywoodpersona@gmail.com and make sure to rate, share, and follow on whatever platform you're listening to our show on. It's the little things that help. Thank you.
And you little shithead, you're staying here.